Um, when did we go to New York? 2017, right?
It's been a minute.
It was. We went to
After-
California in 2019 because I remember that was right before the pandemic. And then because we went to Halloween and Horror Nights or
Was it
whatever.
after Japan? It must have been after Japan.
After.
Because Japan was 2016.
Yeah. So yeah, it was after.
Yeah.
This is Film to Table. I'm Eli.
I'm Denise.
So we just watched Brian de Palma's 1980 Dress to Kill. I told you I had seen this before.
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh.
I mistake this movie for
Uh-huh.
another movie that he did that was called Body Double with
Never seen that either.
Melanie Griffith.
Oh,
Griffith, yeah.
Really? Okay.
It's
A later movie, I assume?
a couple years later,
Okay.
but it's what confused me was that the posters are somewhat similar.
Sure.
Not identical,
Right.
but yeah, there's like a certain vibe to that poster. But so the reason why I bring up the whole New York thing is because seeing that we have both never seen this movie,
Okay.
turns out,
Okay.
I was almost positive I had, and then I was like, it was funny because in the opening sequence when we see a little bit of what would they call this in the 70s? Beaver.
Oh.
I don't think anybody calls
a significant amount of muff.
I don't think anybody calls it muff or beaver anymore. But damn, this movie starts with
Probably 'cause
like
nobody has it anymore.
yeah, I think I would have been way too young because that was a lot.
Yeah.
It was excessive.
This is like up close and personal with the camera.
Yeah.
It was intense. It was like, are we sure this is not a European film? 'Cause,
So so there's a couple of notes I think
French.
a couple notes I think I had about that as as the movie kind of went on, and I mean I don't like having my phone out when we're watching movies, and I try to discourage you from doing the same. But I couldn't help it in this one because for that period I was like, wait, have I seen this? And I was having to do some quick fact checking because I was like, man, if I had seen that when I was young, I would have been like, wait,
muff?
yeah. I would have been like, wait, what is happening? And why am I watching this?
What's going on?
That said, the reason why I was kind of looking at things because I was like, how have I not seen this? Because this is probably, I think outside of movies like Alice, Sweet Alice, do you remember that one? The Raincoat? That was one with a really, really young Brooke Shields, but there's like the murderer is wearing like a raincoat and has like a plastic mask.
That was a good one.
Okay,
Creepy.
so between that and this, those are probably up there with probably some of the best Giallo, American Giallo movies.
Yes, 100%.
I didn't realize that Brian De Palma is Italian American.
That makes 100%.
It's starting to make a lot more sense. I know Brian De Palma was a big fan of Giallo.
Of course he was.
And man, this movie like reeks that, but not in a, like obviously it is like, it's a genre in itself.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Or saying that like, oh, he's, stealing Giallo because you don't, right?
No, I think it's very much though in that vein.
Yeah.
I don't think he's lifting from anything really, other than like just the inspiration from it, because it's still very much his own movie. I feel like it's not strictly just Giallo.
Yeah, right. And I say that because this was really good.
It was so good. It was so good.
It almost bugs me that I have not seen this, and I know
it's so good.
I know that this has always been on the list of like, well, it's Brian De Palma. You have to watch Brian De Palma films, and it's like yes, and I know you have not seen.
I'm like woefully lacking it out in Brian De Palma.
Well, and I know you have not seen Phantom of the Paradise, which is.
Did we not watch that? I
No, you're watching that. You're watching that next. As a matter of fact,
Okay.
that probably will be our next episode, and we're just going to do the little quick Brian De
What
Palma
was the
kick.
one that we watched that had a similar title?
Oh, that one is no. That one is you're thinking
Doctor.
no. You're thinking oh man, it's that one also that one takes place in a mall. That one is I'll remember in a minute. It's like Phantom of the Mall or Phantom of the
Something like that.
Yeah, I'll remember here in a second.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I think it's because I was thinking or trying to wrap my head around De Palma. But yeah, so yeah, extremely disappointed in myself as this movie kind of went on because I was like,
But
this.
I don't know why you should be disappointed. If nothing else, you should be like excited that you're seeing it for the first time.
Sure, no, and
There's something exciting about
and it
that.
was because I was looking over at you throughout the movie, and you were making the same faces as the first time we watched Sleepaway Camp during the pandemic, because you were just
Fair.
like you were covering your mouth, and then it was funny because I know you had a really long day at work, and so I was a little worried. I was like, because the first.
It's definitely
The first
kind of a
15
slow
minutes
burn.
was very slow.
Yeah, it was a slow burn, but it was so interesting because it's shot so beautifully.
Right.
Like there's so much to look at, and the way that the camera moves. I mean, it's such a beautifully shot movie, honestly.
Yeah.
And all of the twists and the turns kind of feels modern. This doesn't feel like. I mean, that's not like disparaging any movies from the 80s, but I don't know, the way it's shot feels almost
Way ahead of its time
artistic, way ahead
for
of
like
its
an
time.
80s movie.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know, should we talk about the plot first?
Yeah, I guess we should probably give like the quick synopsis. I don't know how worried I am about spoilers per se. This movie is
a movie from the 1980s.
yeah, this movie's really old.
Yeah, I feel like probably we should be safe.
Yeah,
I would hope.
but yeah, basically it I don't know. I guess do you have IMDb? Do you have what it says? I'm curious what it says.
Oh, of the synopsis?
Yes.
Okay, let me pull it up. A mysterious blonde woman kills one of the patients of a psychiatrist and then goes after the high-class hooker who witnessed the murder.
Okay.
That's pretty concise.
Yeah.
But there's, kind of embedded in all that is very much a lot of, like, psychosexual stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, I didn't really know what to expect because they did that, again, spoiler, they did that psycho thing where you follow one person and then something happens and now you're following somebody else entirely.
Right. A very giallo. Well, no,
I mean,
not really.
I mean, if you're talking psycho, it's very Hitchcock.
Well, yes, I was going to say this is very Hitchcockian.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it kind of weaves a lot of Hitchcock, a lot of giallo, I feel like, but very much its own flavor at the same time.
It is very masterfully done because it changes up like speeds throughout.
Yes.
Like it's one thing and then it's another thing and then it's another thing and then it's just like, man, what is...
But it doesn't ever feel like disjointed.
Correct.
It almost feels like it's telling this one story and now it's telling another story, but it's connected.
Yeah.
And
you're kind of chasing along with the characters of like, wait, where is this kind of going?
Right. I feel like you're discovering it at the same time.
Right.
It's like the camera. And I kind of I really liked all of these actors.
Yeah. So let's start there, I guess. So, obviously Brian De Palma, big player, but
right.
the main woman in the beginning of the movie who is equivalent to the woman in Psycho, she is like, I think
Angie Dickinson,
right,
who plays Kate Miller.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm not as familiar with her, even though I know her face. So she was more of like the golden era sort of actor.
I guess.
I believe so because if I'm not mistaken, just reading real quick in the trivia was apparently the part was specifically written for her because she she is one of these women who, I mean, from the looks of it, and especially back in the 80s, right? Because plastic surgery and all that jazz wasn't really as big of a thing. Like, she definitely showed her age, but she's still very attractive for her age. She looks
like a beautiful middle-aged woman.
Correct.
Very put together, very elegant.
If anything, she looks older because of her hair, in my opinion.
The hairstyle, I mean,
she kind of got the big 80s hair.
It's that's perspective, right? Of
correct.
Like, our moms or whatever wore the same haircut, so just by default they look a little bit older. But no, she's stunning. Even like saying all that, she's beautiful. Like, she dresses well. She carries herself beautifully. And I so appreciate that they got like a middle-aged character for this role.
And I think that's a key part of the movie because basically, I guess sort of the premise or the main opening sequence is this woman is she's fantasizing because like
she's sexually frustrated in her marriage.
Yes, and
she thinks her husband sucks in bed, and she's just like already carrying all these feelings because I guess she doesn't feel like she can talk to her husband. So she's sexually frustrated. She's kind of looking for an outlet. And so she's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
Well, she's fantasizing about just not wanting to be with her husband.
Right.
Basically, because the opening sequence starts like as if there's like this murder happening, but really she's...
Oh, yeah, it's...
like, she's fantasizing...
It starts out with a crazy kind of out of nowhere...
Well,
I mean, it's like a rape fantasy, like, when it kind of comes down to it.
Yeah, which is a little weird. But I think it was partly... If I understand what was happening in the beginning, she was in the shower... Her husband's doing the normal husband, like, oh, I'm just shave and doing my thing.
Brushing teeth.
She was, I guess, just in need of, like... I guess, as the kids would say, rubbing one out. And she was in the shower, like that's what she was doing. Uh-huh. And I guess she was sort of fantasizing that like a man was just gonna take charge and sort of. I mean, yeah, it was very rapey.
It was like a rape fantasy. I feel like is what it was projecting.
I think so.
Or something.
Yeah,
borderline maybe. I don't know, but it was definitely very much like. It was somebody that wasn't her husband. Correct. Some mystery person that was grabbing her.
Right. To me, I think that was the big thing. Is like, it's not her husband.
Right. Correct. Correct.
It's anybody else because she's so frustrated with the situation.
I mean, like...
And they show that, like shortly thereafter. Yeah, they show that shortly thereafter. Yeah. And so, like, that quickly leads to, like, oh, she's seeing a therapist. And I guess because she's sexually frustrated. But, which is a little strange because it's sort of this... marriage counseling without marriage counseling, like, because it's not a partner marriage counseling. It's like just her talking to a therapist about her frustrations. And that's fair, you know. Either way, like, that just kind of builds up this whole thing that, like, she just needs that attention. Like, she just needs, she needs to be, like, treated like, well, I'm sure it's the classic, you know, as you felt during the honeymoon phase of things and whatever, right? And blah, blah, blah. So...
Well, she kind of alludes a little bit to that they have just marriage problems in general.
Right.
It doesn't really go super deep into it, but, I mean, a big part of it is the sexual component.
Well, and I think the other part of that, too, which I think you can kind of make sort of assumptions on, because we find out a little bit later, it's like she has a son. The son's like a nerd, and he's super into his nerdy things. Yes. But... we find out later from the kid that's not his dad. No. That's a stepdad. So, and apparently his dad died in Vietnam. Correct. It looks like she just married into money in New York because they have a really nice apartment. She's doesn't appear to be working. Like she's at an art museum. She's just making notes about buying turkey and
for Thanksgiving.
Kind of being like sort of a house mom, or not a house mom, but like I don't want to say a trophy wife, but
a little bit maybe.
Maybe. I think that's sort of the impression they give because the reason why I was asking about when we went to New York was, and not to stray too far away from this, and maybe we can circle back to it in a minute. But man, this movie like reeks. It looks and smells of New York, like nothing I've seen in a long time since maybe the Warriors.
That's interesting.
Like I was just
maybe the Warriors.
Yeah, because I love the Warriors.
That's wild.
But like I was like, man, I kind of want to go back to New York now and sort of not have a fantasy of any of this stuff, but I want to go with my camera and sort of film the city and the texture.
I do love it's like heavily 70s era still. So
yes, it's
it's like
1980, right? So we're bleeding out the 70s.
It looks so good.
It really does. But I guess to kind of go back quickly, just before we go down the path of New York. So clearly she is either maybe married into money, or she's like, she was comfortable maybe with what they had prior.
Right.
Because all the stuff that they show is like a really nice house, a really nice things, like everything's nice.
Okay.
And so I think it's one of these, like, because when she's talking to the therapist and the therapist is saying like, if you're frustrated with your husband, you need to just talk to your husband about it and tell him how you feel. She's very hesitant.
Yeah.
But she doesn't say like, because I don't want to lose the situation here. Like, I don't want to lose the money, the house, whatever. Like, it almost seems like she's trapped is what the impression I get.
I can see that too. Like, there's definitely this inclination of like, she doesn't want to rock the boat. She doesn't want to upset what's already going on.
Right. Because the husband looks very well. He looks super generic.
Right. It doesn't even really say that he's a bad husband necessarily.
No. It's just
she's not. It just shows that she's unhappy.
Right.
Like,
but she's what do you call it? She has settled.
Right. Yeah.
She's settled with unhappiness.
She's kind of putting up with it.
Right.
It's whatever.
And so and it's interesting because, again, I mean, we obviously, you know, I was like 4 or 5 when this movie came out, so we didn't know what adults were kind of going through in the 80s. But there probably was, because there was, I mean, this is the boomer generation, so there is a lot of, we don't get divorced, we don't do those things. We make it work.
Just make it work.
And so I think the idea of having an affair or sleeping around or doing things that are non-conventional seems very New York. Like, it seems like, oh, that's only what people in the big city do.
Big cities.
That's what the Wall Street people do. That's what, like, blah, blah, blah. Like,
there's no morals in big cities.
And I say all that because I feel like this movie is a fundamental foundation for movies like Basic Instinct and all these other movies where sex and the idea of talking about it and going to, like, it's like, that shouldn't be so like I don't know what the word would be there.
Provocative.
Like, yeah, I guess like provocative. Like it's like this subject matter that we don't want to discuss or talk about. Like that's something that
like taboo or whatever.
Right, because you know we're good, clean Christian Americans and blah blah blah, and so. That dynamic, I feel like, as part of this movie was very interesting, or that aspect I feel like was very interesting because I could see where somebody who wanted to ratchet up to like 11 in the 90s, or I guess late 80s and 90s with like Basic Instinct and what's the Hand That Rocks the Cradle and I mean, there's like a whole genre that happened during that period of these types of movies, but just like almost like they just sleazier because there was a lot of nudity, and then there was a very like nonchalant, like, oh yeah, I'm a hooker and I work for like a hooker agency, and like it's just very like casual in the sense of like it was a real world, right? I don't think that this is very far-fetched for that time period, but I think people seeing this in the 80s were like, oh, my Lord, like
just shocking, right? Sure,
shocking,
because it's not, you know, what you see in suburbia
exactly,
or whatever.
Yeah, and so I feel like that from a subject matter is interesting and is foundational to those movies. But when you layer on the level of mastery of like cinematography, and acting and editing,
it's so good.
It's incredible. Yeah. Like, it's just like, oh my God. And like, so, I mean, I think even the what do you call it? The red herrings in this movie
Yeah.
are also so good. Like,
Well, plus, like, when you really think, especially in these first few minutes of the movie, there's so much of it that's acted, like, with no dialogue. It's
correct.
so much music.
Visual.
And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the music is kind of crazy. And that's also, honestly, why it feels very, like, Italian.
Yes.
Like, the music is just like, wait, I'm not really sure that it matches what's happening, but I'm
Yes.
kind of into it.
That's actually what I was gonna. I have a note that I wrote to myself, which is like, this movie literally is like. I mean, we've seen. I love giallos. I appreciate
Yeah.
them, and I think they're great.
Yeah.
I think they are not for everybody. Like, I think.
No.
I think for us, for you and I, like, we have a lot of friends that I think we could sit and watch movies with. I don't think we could put them through giallos because they would come off as corny.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
This movie takes all those corny things, replaces them with all the right parts, which is like, instead of weird piano-y music or goblin music, they replace it with like actual like music that matches the screen tone.
Yeah.
And then the visuals are rock solid, but then instead of dubbed acting, it's just regular acting. And so, like,
it's so good.
it's really just a giallo with all those bits like replaced, right? And not to say that giallos are bad.
No, but they're definitely, it's almost like camp on its own.
It is.
So like it's doing its own thing. It's not trying to be super serious. It's not really. That's kind of not.
Well, it isn't.
point.
It is and it isn't, right? It's just because it's Italian. They're like, we just need you to ratchet up the moment.
Yeah.
right?
It's a different sensibility. Like
Yes.
they're very like not shy about it.
Right, because they're like, that's how Americans are.
Right.
That's how they see us.
Yeah.
Here, this is not the case because everybody here is American.
Yeah.
And they are just doing what they were probably directed to do.
Right.
And I think from that standpoint, again, like, this would be, I don't know, like, I guess the only way I can think of this is like, if we had a nerd friend or a film nerd person that we wanted to bring into our fold, we would probably show them this film to say, if you like this, there are Italian movies that are just as interesting,
Yeah.
but not the same level of quality, only in the sense of like, they're not bad.
No,
Like-
I definitely think it speaks to like an American sensibility. I think maybe that's why it works, being like Brian de Palma, if he was a fan of all of the giallos, but also have seen a lot of the American classics like Hitchcock. I think that goes to show really in this movie,
Right.
of how well that works all together. And like, but yeah, definitely, like, there's so many pieces of giallo that like, oh, I see it, I see the signature.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, it feels different and it looks different and it's done so well.
But it's so stylized and everything,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like when the blades come out or whatever, like,
Yeah.
it's almost, you could almost one for one put it next to a giallo and they would
Totally.
be exactly the same. The only
Totally.
difference is maybe a little bit more technical
Yeah.
ability. And
Yeah.
I again, I don't mean that in a bad way, as much as like, they may have just had more money, to be honest. Like,
Oh, sure.
having a shot that's completely like a bird's eye shot, like, you got to build that set, or you have to, everything
What a
has like,
shot.
that's not
Yeah.
easy stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the Italians are like, we can get away, I can still get what I need across based on what I'm doing. And we'll save that for whenever those particular moments like are needed.
Right.
Here, it's almost like they spent that money to do that, because there's like at least half a dozen shots that are just like unreal for 1980. You're just
Yes,
like,
it's-
I need to see the behind the scenes picture
Yeah.
of a couple of these, because I'm
Yeah.
like, how the fuck do you
Right,
pull
right,
that
right,
off?
right.
Like, it's just, I mean, I know what a crane looks like, and there are shots that it's like, that's got to be the longest crane in the history of cranes.
There was that one shot where we were both just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was incredible.
I think, yeah, both our jaws were on the floor. Like, yeah, it was the scene of her coming out of the
and
museum.
it's such like a nothing scene.
Yeah.
Because she's just coming out of the museum or whatever.
Right.
And it's just like, it's so good when
And
you see it.
it's almost like very critical, because I think if you did that same shot with edits, it would just fall flat.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
It's so weird, but it's so good.
It's so good, and it is. You're right. It's like critical, to her feeling like kind of alone or isolated, or in like a little. Like she feels small in like a big city.
Yeah.
Just all of this stuff, and you feel it. Just kind of almost like she feels anonymous in this big city.
Yeah.
Because she's not feeling connected to who she's supposed to be connected with. But yeah, that shot was insane.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible, honestly.
Yeah, and so the movie quickly turns to a whodunit.
It does.
And then we start following yet another set of characters in the whodunit. And it's interesting because in a very Hitchcockian way, you feel like you're very invested at the very beginning with the character, and then you're like,
well, because it feels like you followed her for so long,
right?
And you're catching on to like what she's dealing with, and like, I wanna see her fix her marriage,
right?
Like,
well, but also like because she has like a quick one night stand, and like you're kind of like it's interesting because so much is built up in the character that you're like, good for her, but now what is she going to do? Things are complicated. Like, but I'm glad she's happy. Yeah. But also she's kind of ruined the marriage.
Cheating.
But also the son doesn't care because he doesn't really care for the stepdad.
Right.
So you're kind of mixed as a viewer, but then you're quickly like, oh no, like now you're having to do a
all
pivot.
over again. Yeah. It's you're right.
It's an entry, and again, I think that speaks to the mastery of it because you're very quickly now attached to the new character, even though it really is like an ice bath of like, wait, who the fuck is this? Like, who is this character? Everything just pivots so quickly, but things keep moving. And again, I think without doing it in a very giallo way, and I think specifically the split screen shots, which I forget what the term for that is, but it literally is like that's all done in one, like the scene where the stopwatch, where he's like watching people come out of the thing and the stopwatch is there, and then there's a scene here with Michael Caine. I don't do impressions. That's all we're ever gonna get from me. So Michael Caine.
Okay. All right.
So the shot with him, and then the shot with the I forgot her name. The RoboCop RoboCop girl.
Hang on.
Oh, what's her name? I'm trying to remember her name from RoboCop.
Nancy Allen. Her name is Liz Blake.
Okay, Liz. Yeah. Or whatever her name is in RoboCop. But yeah, it's funny because there's that shot where she is watching television, but then like Michael Caine is watching television, and then she's on the other side, like I think coming home from like a pretty hardcore like events, and there's like that split screen sequence. That was I believe done. I mean, that had to have been done in editing. But the fact that they use that technique where they split the screen and you're watching two things at once and you're absorbing a lot, like it quickly builds like her character up fast enough that we're like, now we're on board with her, because she's a part of the whole like whodunit from the very beginning. But it's almost like, well, she's a witness, sure, but then we quickly like learn a lot by her of her and her character and her like sort of I don't know, I guess like
situation.
Yeah, her overall situation and what she's trying to deal with, and like that is done in a way that you don't see very often, and they definitely tell you don't do that kind of stuff in film because it's like now this movie's going to end up being 4 hours long. You have to build, you have to build everything. But this just shows that if you know your craft, like you don't have to give like an exposition of like, well, I'm only a prostitute because when I was young, my parents left me. It's like, oh my God, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like just like this happens. right? These sorts of things happen in life, and how do people deal with that? Like, how do they adapt? What do they do, right? And this movie just kind of rolls with that. And this movie's an hour 45, and it is like the perfect amount of.
I mean, it's like and honestly, I could have kept watching more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you care about, I don't know, like the acting is so good. Like I cared about all of the characters. Like she's good. What's her face? RoboCop. Liz is great.
I forgot. Her name is Lewis in RoboCop. So,
and
Lewis.
After a while, we
Lewis
start following the son of the murdered woman.
And Lewis is hot. Like, I have to say, like
Liz is great. Yeah, she looks amazing.
She was but I'm saying, like, in RoboCop, I had only ever seen her in RoboCop.
I mean, she's covered head to toe in RoboCop, so you can't see anything.
But I mean, I was just like, what? Lewis is playing a prostitute, and I was like, oh damn, Lewis is a prostitute. Like, holy shit.
Okay.
But it was just kind of funny because like there are so many like characters from this. Like the son is the kid from Christine.
His name is Keith Gordon.
Yeah, he's like the crazy guy in Christine.
Yes, and I loved him in Christine. I loved Christine, and he's great in this as well.
Yeah, and then like
honestly, like I kind of. I kind of wish he was in more things that I've seen.
Yeah, Dennis Franz is in this, which is
almost, I gotta say, like maybe
he steals the scene.
He kind of took me out a little bit.
No, I loved it.
All of the fucking things he was saying was so like out of pocket.
No.
But also like maybe appropriate for the 70s.
I was gonna say for a New York cop in the 70s. I
mean, even how he's dressed with the huge lapels.
Yeah, but like, again, this is 1980.
Unbuttoned, like
this guy was on the force in 1974.
I mean,
and now he's like that 6-year veteran who's just tired of like bullshit in the city.
I mean, it's great. He's like chewing the scenery up, and he's just, feels like he's just having fun with it.
No, absolutely. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, like nobody sticks out other than the fact that like. He chews the scene up.
Yeah. And it's just like jarring what he says, but I think only because it's so like that would get you thrown off so fast.
Absolutely. I mean, but that's true for any, like Hyman and I watched Cobra not too long ago. And you and I watched that, remember?
Which one is that?
The one with Sylvester Stallone who was driving the badass car and like.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
okay, yeah.
Again, like cops back then, it was like, they don't fire these cops. They just put them on like he's like part of the night crew or whatever, right? Like I don't know, it's just weird. But anyway, he's great. Michael Caine's
obviously
like
Michael Caine.
He's not in the movie for all that much.
He's not, but he's really good. He's just good. Being Michael Caine.
Yeah, in this movie.
Yeah, terrific.
But yeah, I think like there's a handful of scenes here that were just like
but like kind of does stand out to me as over the top as the Dennis Franz character is as the detective.
Sure.
Honestly, like it felt kind of. It could have gone like the kid, right? Like I was expecting him to go as hammy as he was in Christine.
Sure.
But they pulled back so much of that as far as like. Because he, you see him in Christine and he can play like super, like overly emotional and kind of like unhinged. But in here is like, he's kind of a nerdy kid and he has like the little outbursts, but he's so even keeled at the same time. And it's so, like it's so endearing almost because like you want him to figure out what he wants to figure out. And you want him to kind of buddy up with Liz so that they can figure something out together. Because obviously only they can solve it.
Right. It turns very, I don't want to say Nancy Drew. Like,
a little bit Nancy Drew.
Because of the fact that he's like a nerd. Yeah. And he's like, he has
all these little gadgets and gizmos. I mean, so like, but not, I don't know, it could have been very 80s as far as like, just made up machines. I mean, all of this I'm sure is made up machines that like may or may not work in real life, but they don't go into like over explaining what a genius he is and why he knows how to do all that, or like why is he not in school?
He just he just is.
He just is, and they don't overdo it so that it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well,
they do it in such a way that's actually really interesting, and I kind of want to know how he did it.
So that's something I want to talk about. Like next is the two things that we can circle back around. One of them, the city of New York, and then the other thing is the art direction in this. This goes back to, again, knowing your craft, right? The art direction in this is outstanding because everything you need to know is set up in the color palettes, right? Mm-hmm. The woman in the beginning wears lots of whites.
Yep.
She's blonde. Like, everything is built for her to be this innocence, but at the same time, like, a little bit of, like, I don't know, like, innocent but not innocent, like, frustrated and whatever. So, like, the color palettes there are very, like, direct, you know? Like, she always wore white, you know, throughout the whole opening sequence. And then, like, whenever she would run into the fantasy of these men, they had a very particular look.
You're right.
And I want to say that the guy that she ends up having like a one night stand with is the same guy that was, I think, in the shower at the beginning.
Might be, yeah.
So she fantasizes a particular look, and I think the way that he is dressed, the way he looks, the way he has his glasses, everything, the way his apartment was.
Yeah.
Like, that's all very well art directed. Even like Dennis Franz and like the kid. So the kid wears the nerdy glasses with the weird hair. Again, like, it may be tropey, and maybe that's a little bit harder to do, but I don't buy that nowadays. Mm-hmm. That, like, we don't, like you were saying, we don't need to know how he became nerdy or why he is nerdy.
Right.
Like, it's all visually there for you.
Yeah, it's just there. Like, even the little gadget that he creates when we first see him, it's like, what is that?
Right.
Like, it almost doesn't matter. It just is to show you that this is the kind of stuff that he knows how to do.
Right.
This is what the kind of stuff he's working on. And he's smart. Right.
And like Michael Caine, the way they art direct him, the way they art direct, I'm just going to call her Lewis from RoboCop. Like, so again, kind of going back to the whole New York thing, like the way that they show, like, because remember we were mostly on the Lower East Side, I believe, when we were there,
something like that.
And so we kind of saw, I would say, more of the working class / starting to be gentrified part of New York. And then we stayed at an Airbnb, which was like not an Airbnb. We stayed in someone's spare room in New York.
I think they just were not in town or something.
No, they were there, remember?
Oh, they were there.
And it was,
they brought up their bikes.
The apartment was super small.
Right.
But they rented the room to us because we only needed it, I think, for like 2 nights.
Yeah, and it was literally a bed.
Right. It was a bed in a room that barely fit. And,
a bed and like our luggage. And
but it put us close to where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I remember we spent very little time in the very fancy doodle part of New York.
Yeah.
Remember we got like
the Park Avenue side.
Yeah, and I remember we went into like a little bakery or something to get like a tea or coffee,
we got some
and we were
dirty looks.
Yeah, it was like, what are you people doing here? And so like part of this movie is filmed there. Right. Because that's where the opening sequences and where the woman and the one night stand, or I guess they're kind of in that area or whatever. And then you sort of see the other side of that, which is like throughout the movie, they kind of move throughout the city and like even getting in the cab and then like being with Lewis when she's like, I guess, like she's like I guess you would say like an expensive hooker, like she's
escort.
An escort, yeah, that's right. Because she goes through a service, which I don't know if that's like I don't know if that was legal. I doubt.
No. It's not legal, but it's like I only know this because of Law and Order SVU. But no, they like act as agencies, basic like they're like temp agencies, but like for escorts. Huh. So yeah, they connect like clients to escorts. So like
dates, but they're not supposed to have sex,
dates.
But they do.
I mean,
yeah. So, so she's not like going to like the bad sides of New York.
No, she's like a high end.
Right. But and so it looks like she sort of has like good living. Right. Like a good living scenario.
Well, it even implies, right? Like in the beginning when she's talking to that one guy that she's with, that they're talking about stocks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so she's kind of savvy. Like she kind of knows what she wants. Like she shows off her art later in the movie. Like she wants to, live the good life.
Well, I think she's really more like, I mean, more so than that. I think she knows how to hustle. Like,
right.
She's looking to protect her money. Because when she shows the art, she's like, I bought it for like $500, but it could be worth $1 million someday. Right. Like, she's only doing stuff for the sake of money, right?
Yeah,
she's very money driven, which is like probably the goal of most of us. But so I think because of that, you see like a slice of New York that is like the high end, and then you sort of see the middle road of it. And the way they contrast that is so well done. So like the scene that I wanted to talk about where you get a little bit of New York, which is like, she is, I think she went out on a job and she's on her way home and she's wearing like this all purple outfit, but she's riding the subway and the subway is like grungy and kind of dirty and definitely much more working class sort of people in there. And she runs into like, I guess like hoodlums or I guess, I don't know what you would say there, but like, that whole sequence when you see like the camera following her walking down like the subway area, it just contrasted so much, but it just made the shots like it was just like incredible. And then like even some of these shots like I guess like in was this Park Avenue probably right?
Something like that. Nicer part of New York.
Yeah, it's like just showing all of this and how it's all set up. It's just really well done. And I think those things are important from an art direction standpoint because it ratchets up the intensity and like I guess the immersion of what you're watching, right? Like this has nothing, this is not class warfare or anything like that. It's just this would never happen with rich people, but it's happening, right? Yeah. And it's just really cool how a lot of that is set up and how it's sort of used in combination with the music and everything else that leads up to sort of like the end, like the end part of the movie. And I will say, like, I don't know how you felt. I felt like from a mile away, I could see where this, like, what was going to happen.
I don't know about a mile away, but there was a certain point of like, of course it is.
Sure, and I feel like.
I mean, but they threw a couple of pretty good red herrings in there.
Yeah.
To where like, I'm just following along the story because I'm the kind of viewer. I mean, I've always been like this. Like, I'm the kind of viewer. I'm not trying to solve it.
Sure.
Like any mystery I watch, like I feel like for me that kind of takes away.
Right. You shouldn't spend the movie like being
like
the
trying to outwit the movie. Like my brain doesn't function like that. Like I don't want to ruin the surprise for myself.
Right.
So I'm always kind of going with the story. But yeah, like there's a certain point where it's like, I know what's gonna.
Right.
Yeah, I know where it's headed.
Yeah.
But it almost like, not that it doesn't matter necessarily, but like you still want to follow these characters all the way through.
Right. You want to make sure. That your thought process is right. Yeah, I'm the same way too. Like I'm not trying to figure it out. It's just that. Because this movie's so much older and it is probably foundational to a lot of other things. Oh, totally. I think younger people wouldn't see this coming because they would be like, "Well, what do you mean?" Or the opposite of that. Because I feel like movies nowadays push for that, and in some ways I feel like it's even poorly done because they'll have like it wasn't this person, but it was actually this person and this person because of and then you're just like, okay, what? Like,
well, honestly, I feel like I think maybe some movies these days they try a little bit too hard to kind of seed all of the clues.
Right.
That like, well, everybody's gonna want to play along, and it's much more enjoyable when they think they can like figure it out, and so we're gonna put all of these Easter eggs or whatever. But I think there's something to be said about just kind of watching somebody else solve it and see their process.
Right.
Like I love this whole sequence of the kid figuring out how to set up like a timed shutter camera.
Right.
Like that was so fucking rad. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like one of those things, right? You take for granted because of the kind of technology that we have now. But for him to like, or at least in the script, like to think through this problem of trying to like figure out what's going on, and then like showing all his calculations, and then trying to like developing this mechanism so that he can. I mean, it's so, I don't know. It just tickled such a specific part of my brain that was like, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love seeing characters that are clever,
right,
that are smart, and they're not like being stupid.
right.
You know what I
like
mean?
his skill set is being applied in a way that is very believable,
right,
and also
right.
not outside of the realm of like what some of us would do.
Totally.
If you had that skill set.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And they pretty much play into everybody's like skill sets, which is again what I feel like what keeps the movie moving. You're not bringing in new people. Like everybody uses what their abilities are, and it's all contained in a very large
right.
city like New York.
But I love too that like it's not this feeling of like, oh, this person is the heroine, so she's gonna be the badass to take the person. She's realistically like this, she's a petite kind of like a smaller framed woman.
Right.
She's not gonna kick any kind of ass. You know what I mean?
But she's very confident.
But she's confident. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to navigate the city, and she's like,
she's not a damsel in distress.
Exactly.
She is very much a New Yorker.
But there's this realistic, I don't know, like I feel like we've overcorrected to a certain degree in some of the movies now, as far as like, oh, they're the protagonist, so they're going to be a badass and solve it by the end of the movie. And they're going to also kick ass and say a super funny catchphrase, like all at the same time. And it's like, that's what is it called? Satisfying to a certain degree, because that's what you're looking for, right? When there's like this big whole injustice or whatever that's happening. But I like that kind of these movies where it's a little more low key as far as like, this is realistically what would happen if you were a person like this.
Yeah.
You're not gonna kick all kinds of ass and be super witty at the same time, and like you're gonna be kind of nervous, kind of frightened, kind of paranoid, but also you want to move through your own life still. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm like
no, like it again, like that's all that everything you said is portrayed, or it's conveyed through the acting.
Exactly. There's not this huge info dump.
Yes.
Of like,
and God, I miss that
exposition. It's just like,
I just want to be thrown into the world.
Exactly. It's just telling the story through these characters.
Yeah. And it's
stunning, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
it is a master class in those sorts of things, and it seems very complicated, and it isn't. Like,
yeah,
it just feels that way because of the way that the layers are put in there, and it doesn't get you all lost, and you're trying to, well, wait a minute, what about, this or that? Or,
well, it's really such like a grasp on your craft, right?
Yeah.
As far as like, just, like you're saying, the art direction, the editing, all of that stuff. Like, it's such a complete understanding of like how you want to tell this story.
Well, this actually kind of goes to the whole, like, I think like when people say this is ooh, excuse me. This goes to the whole discussion of like, this is why something should be seen in the cinema or on a nice big TV like this, right? Because this is not a movie that you can sit and watch on your phone. Not because you're not, well, you can watch this on your phone. You can watch this on a tablet, but not to say you have to have a big screen to take it all in, but this is like a nice meal in that, like, you want to take it in, right?
And enjoy it.
Right. You want to, if you're going out for an expensive meal at a nice restaurant, let's just say like a French restaurant called like Bouillon or something, right? Like, it's about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right? It's
just as much as the food. Yeah.
It's the servers. It's all of that comes together in a way that you really have to appreciate it. It would be very easy to say, well, I can get a steak to go at Applebee's.
Right.
If I want a steak, right?
Right.
And it would be like, but I'm paying way less or whatever, right? It's like, yeah, but you're not appreciating like all the like the skill that you took in as being a chef, right? Like everything that you learned, that craft is being applied out to
It's
to
not
the
just the
patrons.
steak, right?
Right, exactly. It's how you've learned to prepare that and do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so while yes, you could watch this on a tablet or you could watch it on your phone, I don't think you're going to get a real sense of like how much these shots and these things and the audio, like the really well. And granted, like we watched the 4K. It's a Kino Lorber classic, like in their catalog. So like, and I remember that's why I bought this because I was like, oh, that's right. Those guys, everybody who puts out genre films like this, they're very particular, right? Because they're not just putting out everything.
Sure.
They're putting out the ones that they feel like you need to watch these, right?
Right.
And so that was partly why I wanted to watch this because, like, let's see, I guess I was like in high school when we got the thrillers like Basic Instinct and, all those sorts of genre movies that were like Sliver and all these other ones that were kind of like sleazy and this and that.
Right.
Like, I did watch some of these. I just didn't really understand them at a younger age. But then I got the evolution of that. And those were more like they speak of the era than anything else.
Yep.
But going back and watching these really like makes me think of like fine cuisine, like French, like
all the techniques,
right.
all the stops.
Or like, what is it they call them? The mother sauces.
The mother sauces.
Right. Because
it's so foundational.
Right.
It's almost like these are the kind of movies that like, I don't know, it's almost so important and influential that like, it's almost a bunch of cliches put together, but this is where it started. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
maybe not necessarily this movie, but it's that kind of movie. As far as like, you've seen pieces of this in so much of the zeitgeist since that it's like, oh, it's just, I've seen this before, obviously, duh.
But this is just prepared. Like, you could use like a machine to chop onions, right? But you do it you do it in a very particular way because it matters, right?
Right.
And because these guys were doing it on film and not in a digital format or wherever, but they could ad lib and do all the. They're like, no, we have to be very prepared about what we're going to do because I'm sure it's expensive as fuck to film in New York.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's the 80s, right? So I'm sure that they were probably maybe a little looser with whatever. But so much of this is filmed in New York where that's why, like I said, I could see it and smell it because it just made me miss New York because I was like, man, the iconic look of certain aspects of this.
Yeah.
Like you could film this on a what do they call it, on the wall or green screen or whatever, but you can definitely tell that there's different feeling and texture based on the lighting and everything. So it again going back to the food thing, like you chop those onions a very certain way because they will liquefy, right, or they do whatever they do, right, because you cut them a certain way and not because you just pulverize them in a blender and it's like, well, they're still cut. It's like, no, that you do it a certain way because it all matters in the end result, right? And you're seeing that in this movie. So, I think the only last thing I was gonna kind of add to the whole thing was like the very end, to not give away anything, is, I mean, I haven't seen you that like nervous or on your toes in a really long time. That really, ending is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, so well executed. It's such it ratchets up the tension so perfectly. I mean, at that ending scene anyway. Yeah. That
the whole last probably 10 or about 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes. I mean, it I don't know. It was so effective.
Yeah. But I mean, again, so well filmed, like so well.
So the caveat, I guess, to all of that, as good as this movie was, obviously it was made in the 80s, and there's some probably outdated ideas about certain things in this movie.
Well, I mean, we can just straight up say, because I mean, I don't think it's again, this movie is almost 50 years old. So yeah, there's some commentary on trans, people.
The interesting thing though is just, it is like not great the way it's so misunderstood in this movie.
Right. Well, I don't know if it's misunderstood. It's used as
It's used as a device to
sort
whatever.
of explain something.
To explain something, and it's like, if you try to do that now, it would not fly, right?
No, not at all.
But at the same time, to be completely fair to the movie, and honestly, in a very forward-thinking way, it's not used as the excuse.
Yeah, actually, because I actually wrote a note for that too, right? Is like, it's a movie that deals with multiple like personality disorder.
Right. Without saying, because I don't know that they had that diagnosis back in the day.
Exactly. And I think that also goes to the fact that people didn't understand like trans people back then. Well, clearly they are ill.
Yeah.
And that's our explanation.
Right.
Where this movie actually kind of goes in the other direction because again, they're like you said, they're not using that as the excuse as much as like it is part of a multiple personality disorder, but it's just like another layer, like a lot of the other layers in this movie. Because I feel like, yes, you could have taken that portion out of the movie and it still would have worked.
True.
I mean, totally. It absolutely would have. So I don't think this is like problematic in the sense of I think how people see like, some people will see Sleepaway Camp as that being problematic, as far as
but it's in the same vein as far as like, when you really think about Sleepaway Camp, I mean, yeah, obviously like horrific. And at the end of the day, like, they did what they did to that character at the end. But at the same time, they made a point of like, where she was kind of abused by the person that took her in. And it was kind of, a similar thing, at least a little bit to like when people kind of talk shit about Silence of the Lambs with the Buffalo Bill character,
right?
Where really, I don't know that what was it that he says? He's not a transsexual. Like I think Lecter even says that he's not a transsexual. He's just what is it that he says?
Yeah, I remember.
But he doesn't know what he is. So he's like trying on these different personas.
Right.
I think is how Lecter explains it, or like the other doctor, whatever. So on surface level, I think there is a problem with, a lot of genre movies about either demonizing or misunderstanding trans people. But at the same time, there's a certain level of like, because it is genre, they're not straight up demonizing it.
Right.
Because we're still part of the same kind of outcast group that is trying to understand. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I think it's a little simplistic and like derivative to kind of point at these movies and be like, oh, look at them, like
they're using it.
They're just demonizing trans people. I think actually there's an argument to be made in this movie when they showed that clip of them watching TV about the trans person that's being interviewed. I think that was a very specific point to be like, no, these are just regular people.
Right.
That and they're showing this interview. They're trying to like have this conversation on TV that they're watching about like, this is what, as in particular male to female trans
Wasn't it like
people,
a military person that
right, and they're trying to explain it of like,
yeah, it was funny enough. It was Donahue.
Yeah, it was Donahue.
The very
like super young version.
Yeah, of trying to understand like
right, exactly
the trans like since it's you know what you're actually right, because like Donahue was very, at least back then, was
very respectful,
right? But that is like sensationalism television of like, but like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why are you?
But you were like married,
right? You were married and have 3 children,
but still like nothing really derogatory. Like it was maybe pointed questions, but I don't know that he was saying like, "Oh, you're a freak." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so the interview itself that they're showing on the TV, I think, was a really, honestly, kind of an important part of the movie, as far as like, look at all these people, or this person in particular, living a perfectly normal life. They just happen to want to transition from male to female.
Right.
And they're fine. or at least they're fine enough that they want to interview them on TV.
Right. Because
right?
that person in the interview even says like, I know I like,
Yeah.
were you unhappy in your,
Right.
and then it was funny because he was like, I don't know how to say this without sounding offensive. He's like, but I guess traditional marriage.
Right.
And he's like, no, like I was happy that way too.
Yeah.
It's just now I'm
this.
now I'm a woman, or feel that that fits me now.
Right.
Who I
And
am.
they made a point to be like, oh, it's just they feel like they were supposed to be born a woman.
Right.
Like even in the ending kind of exposition when when Liz is explaining to the kid of like, well, this is what it means to be like transsexual.
Right.
It was still like talking about the mechanics of it, of like, well, what does that mean?
Right.
But
wasn't
never
like-
once does
Yes.
she like. Honestly, it's funny because they pan over to somebody like listening
In the background, yeah.
like just being a nosy bitch about like making faces of like ugh. But like the whole time, Liz and even the kid who's like a teenage kid are talking about it as like, oh, it's it's a medical procedure if
Right.
they want it to be.
Right.
But
Yeah, there's
sometimes
no-
it's just hormones. It was very straight up, and there was never this insinuation of like, oh, they're a bunch of freaks.
Yeah, that they're confused people and they
Right.
don't know, and that's what makes them killers.
And
like
that's why he was crazy.
right, exactly. There was actually, I mean, shockingly, even the shitty cop Franz doesn't go like.
No, he doesn't.
He could have leaned into like
He
what a
could've,
freak show or
'cause
whatever.
He's been shitty the whole time
Yeah.
about anything else.
And it turns out he's actually a pretty good cop.
Yeah.
Like he's like very
he
kind
figured
of
it out.
he kind of was playing the angles so that he
Yeah.
could get what he needed,
Right.
because he knew that if he tried to do it his way,
It wouldn't work.
it wouldn't work because I got to wait for a court order and I got to this and that. He's like, but if you guys want to figure it out
Yeah.
and play detective, he's like, it's funny because he's like, that's my job. And then at the very end, he's like, well, we all work together, and you're like,
Right.
wait, what? So yeah, I mean,
So I think it's really
It's-
it's actually really interesting in a lot of these movies that kind of like play up this idea, at least in the ones that we've seen, of like trans people kind of being in the middle of it. And
Yeah.
granted, they do end up being the baddies, and they do end up being like super problematic. And I think on a surface level, like that is still a misunderstanding of back then of what it
Yeah.
meant to be trans. So in that way, not great for like, just in general, like representation. But I think there was like a pretty legitimate like curiosity and like trying to understand
Yeah.
what it was, especially in the lens of this movie. Like again, like, at the end of the day, that was the bad guy. But I
mean,
don't know, like it's they didn't take the easy out
Right.
of like, oh, it's because he's a freak.
Right.
Or it's because
Hitchcockian-
like they're all like that.
right. Hitchcockian in the same way that happens in Psycho.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So I feel like, yeah.
So I think it's like a much richer conversation than I think like just the throwaway of like, oh, they were all like
Yeah.
like phobic back then.
Yeah, like clearly it's something that, again, a little bit of a bummer, but at the same time, like, I don't think that should deter people from this movie, or if they've ever kind of been told like, wow, you shouldn't watch that because it puts, trans people in a bad
I
light.
think if anything else, it's actually like I don't know, like I don't know that I'm not trans, so I couldn't speak for them, but like I don't know that it is like offensive necessarily to the community because of all of these points that we're making.
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting story. It's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just so happens that, unfortunately, that's, that was the killer.
Right. Well, I guess before we have to pair this up with a meal, because remember, that's the name of the podcast.
Yes.
We do like the new thing that we're kind of doing now that we're watching these movies, and
we're recipe testing.
right, but we're also thinking about like the characters in here, right? So something that we've started doing now is like, okay, so of all the people in this movie, anybody who was in this movie, who do we think would make the best sandwich? And that sandwich can be whatever. Like,
okay.
I wrote down who I think it is, so I'll go
Okay.
first because I know
Do it.
you hate going first, I guess. And I had to think about this for a minute because, again, when we were in New York, the food, all the food we had was
good.
great. And from street food to like the restaurant food to everything we had, like nothing was bad. So who in particular would make like a great sandwich? You know, we got we got Michael Caine, we got Lewis, we got, you know, the guy from Christine, we got Dennis Franz, you know, who probably makes like a very sloppy like bologna sandwich, probably sort of thing. So I'm gonna go with the taxi driver that actually sees like who basically gets a full peep show. I mean, not even a peep show. It's straight on he gets to watch like a full porn.
He's adjusting the mirror, watching that shit from start to finish.
And that is partly why I'm picking that guy who would make the best sandwich, because that guy has probably met and seen some of the most interesting things in New York.
Ooh,
and
that's a good
he saw something that day, and which is funny because like they give him like whatever, like $40 for the ride, but like I told you, it's like I feel like he should be giving them back like 60 to go. Like that was a hell of a show. Here you go.
Of a show. I need to smoke.
Yeah. But I feel like this guy would know how to make like a badass like because he's probably gotten all the secrets from so many people on how to make what was that we had that was like the
pastrami.
Yeah, it was I'm sure that he's probably been told the best ways to do a pastrami sandwich.
Well, being a cab driver too, though, like
either
I mean, I'm sure he's been to the best.
Yeah, he's probably been to the best. So
yeah,
he's probably got a technique down, and he's probably talked to lots of people in his various times.
Yeah,
and asked questions, right? Of like, hey, so.
Yeah.
How would you, you know, smoke
that?
this or smoke that? Yeah. Or, you know, he's watching, you know, practically a porn movie in his back seat, and he's like, oh man, like, you know what I could go for? Like a sandwich. But yeah, in any sense. So that's I don't know what his name was. I don't think he had a
I don't think he had a name.
I think he had a credited title, but I'm gonna go with the taxi driver.
Okay.
From the very beginning.
Who has seen some stuff.
Yeah, he's just seen a lot. Which means he has absorbed a lot.
Okay.
And I assume, you know, he's like a cabbie that's just been driving for a large number of years and knows, you know, where to get the best meats in town and takes them home and understands how to like make all that. So that's my choice for sandwich. And again, like I said, probably a pastrami, like a pretty simple pastrami, because he would probably know where to go get the bread, like the best bread. You know, he didn't need to bake his own bread, but he's going to make his own pastrami, and then he's going to piece all that together because, you know, that's like his little side hustle that he does. So, yeah, taxi driver number one or whatever.
I like it.
Yeah. So,
I think my pick would have to be, I mean, I got to say, it has to be the cop.
France?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would be him. I think he would make an amazing Italian sandwich.
Oh.
He has a specific place that he gets the
Goodfellas?
The salami from. No, like a straight up like cold cuts.
Oh, okay.
With like the vinegar and the oil and just.
But he's making those oils and vinegars, right? Like he's
I mean, like he has his own like little mix. He has a special little spread.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in Goodfellas, when he's telling the brother-in-law or whatever, he's like, you keep stirring.
Oh,
don't stop stirring, because that's
they're making
that's
sauce.
the secret.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I feel like he would be that same way with like his
Same
oils.
way? Oh yeah.
Like where he's like, no, don't touch it.
Or it has to be this particular kind of oil from this particular kind of place. And he has a special butcher. He gets his salami from or whatever.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can see him make a crazy banger of a sandwich.
You know why? You know, but I think you're nailing that one, because I could imagine, because I guess he's a detective, right? So he's probably like a detective sergeant.
Yeah.
Which means there's probably like some underlings that work for him. And they're probably like, man, I hate this guy. What a dick. But you know what? The time he gave me those sandwiches, like, I mean, I hate working with him, but if it means I get more of those sandwiches, then I can deal. Because like, yeah, he looks like
so good.
He looks like an absolute asshole.
Yeah. He knows where to get the good bread. Like,
and
you were
those are the people that you
saying.
hate because then they're like,
Yeah.
man, but why do they have to be so good
Yep.
at making an Italian
Yeah,
sandwich?
he has that look.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I can see that. I can see that. So we got Franz and we got the taxi driver guy. Okay. No, that's fair. So what do we pair this movie with food wise?
Ooh.
Ooh. I mean, I was gonna say like a pastrami sandwich, but
you can.
No, I mean I can, but I think I'm gonna actually. I think I'm gonna kind of lean back though into like a halal cart food because that feels. I don't know if this is true, but it does feel like, what do you call it when you're on a stakeout? Like this feels like you need stakeout food, right? Like you're trying to. You're investigating. You're staying up late
together, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, like the kid. You know, he's got the camera. He's working late at night, and he was working late at night on his computer. But he was also working late on building this camera and doing all this investigative work. Like, you got to have sort of that food that you can just kind of kind of go with. So it probably like a halal like gyro or is it gyro? A gyro, like sort of sandwich that you can kind of hold with the the big steak fries in it
so good.
That you have in foil, so that you take a couple of bites and then you see somebody coming out of the apartment, so you just wrap the foil and then you put it back in your bag.
You eat it later.
And you go back to it later. This movie reeks of that to me because it's so New York. Like, even if you're in the fancy part of New York, you're still staying up late. You're still having to be able to move, but you got to eat. So you need something that you can eat, on the move. So probably like chicken, like a chicken shawarma, like sort of like Euro bread sort of thing. And
heavy on that, the creamy garlic sauce.
But like I said, in that scenario of you just wrap the foil over the top and then you're like, I got to go. I'll get back to it later. It'll be fine if I eat it as long as I eat it within like a 24 to 36 hour span, I'll be fine. So that's what I would pair with because, man, this movie's so New York. Like, it's, oh man, like I wish they would make more movies like this. Obviously, like it's basically impossible nowadays with like, expenses and
that's why it's so exciting to see something like this from like that we've never seen before. It's such a fun, exciting surprise that's like, oh man, we found another good one. That's just been sitting around for, like you said, almost 50 years. And we just now watch it. It's awesome.
And it sure as hell does not look like a 50-year-old movie.
It
feels like when someone's trying to make a movie to make it look like it was done in the 80s. Except this one was just done in the 80s. Like, and
it's so like it's just so good. It's just so good.
So what would you
I'm trying to think, but I'm thinking of Liz being a high-end escort
on the go, always having to be,
and honestly, like they take her out, like the clients take her out to lots of fancy places, nice dates. But she gets home really late and she doesn't have a whole lot of time to herself when after a long night of working, I think she's just kicking back and opening up some ramen, honestly. Dressing up a little bit with like a little bit of eggs, some green onions. But for most part, just a nice, comforting bowl of ramen. I
can see that.
At the end of the night, long night for her.
The quick, like
little cup noodle maybe, but like...
Okay. But fancied up because she's been in enough. She's been in enough high-end restaurants where she knows what she should add or do with it.
Right.
She's not
exactly
college-minded in the sense
not quite just like straight up packet, but
I could see that too because she's so like she's not like a big spender, but she likes to get the most out of her money.
Right.
That like she can plus up a cheap thing of cup of noodles, good eggs or whatever, like
little piece of steak that was left over from dinner. Put it in, throw it in there. Get some green stuff in there too.
That's true.
A little fancied up, but still just ramen noodles.
Okay, I can see that. That totally works. Yeah, this was a good one. I'm really glad we saw this, but yeah, we're definitely going to watch Phantom of the Paradise. I think like next.
Okay.
I think you need to watch that. I think a lot of people will be upset that as your husband, I have not had you watch that. It was actually the Majestic Theater. That's where they filmed Phantom of the Paradise.
What?
Yeah. It's a
Really?
yes. But yeah, we're going to watch that next,
Okay.
and we'll do that. I'm trying to think. I thought that was an event that was going to happen that we were going to go see, or not that we were going to see, but I think that was something maybe that was later this year because I was like, oh man, it'd be cool if we could go back there.
Yeah.
Because I know we've seen like Jeff Tweedy there. We saw David Cross. I think we saw there was that one comedian that you liked that we. She's like an Asian comedian.
Oh, Ali Wong.
Ali Wong. We saw her there.
Majestic. We saw that one British guy that Josh got us.
Oh, that's right. I forget what his name is, but
I don't know.
But yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that look of theater is
Yeah.
the Phantom of the Paradise. So
Okay.
we will watch that next. But yeah, this is a good one. So I guess if anybody has any food ideas or suggestions or anything they would like to shoot our way, you can email us at topshelfvideopodcast@gmail.com. That'll also go to us. You can follow us on Instagram. We're like the subcast of Top Shelf Video, the neighboring podcast. But you can follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky. I believe we're also Top Shelf Video Podcast. Yeah, or you can go to topshelfvideo.com, and that's where all our episodes are listed there, all our socials. You can email us, link through there, and a bunch of other jazz. So, yeah, or leave a comment, subscribe, do all that jazz on your wherever it is you're listening to this podcast. We have all that there. So, yeah, I guess it is time to put away the nice sharp knife cutlery for the evening. Get everything ready for. I think we're gonna blow your. Socks off with Phantom of the Paradise. I think you're really gonna like that one, and that
excited.
we're just gonna do the little Brian de Palma.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to do a run of Brian de Palma at this point.
Yeah, I think.
Turns out I'm a fan, I guess.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know you like Carrie, and that's probably his biggest work.
Carrie's good.
That you're familiar with. So,
yeah.
But all right. Well, then I guess remember to tip your wait staff.
There you.
I always want to say tip and give thanks to your wait staff because they work hard.
They do work hard.
But also
buy around for the kitchen, guys.
Because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have your dressed salad to kill.
Okay.
Is that?
No.
Does that sound? No,
that does not roll off the tongue.
Okay. Well, whatever. I'm staying with it.
Okay.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.